Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Terraform Fundamentals, Episode 1 of 13. Provisioning servers used to mean filing a help desk ticket and waiting 2 weeks for someone to click through a cloud console. Today, the exact same process is a simple pull request that safely deploys in minutes. That shift is entirely driven by the infrastructure as code paradigm, and HashiCorp Terraform is the primary engine powering it. Infrastructure as code is exactly what it sounds like. You manage your databases, virtual networks, and compute instances using plain text files instead of manual clicks. These files can be version controlled, reviewed by peers, and tested automatically. To understand why this is powerful, consider a system administrator who needs a new Azure virtual machine. Using an imperative workflow, they might write a complex PowerShell script. That script has to explicitly define every action and order. It tells the system to log in, check if a network exists, create it if it does not, allocate a public IP, and finally boot the server. If the script fails at step 4, you are left with partially built infrastructure. Running the script a second time often causes errors because some resources already exist. Terraform uses a declarative approach instead. You do not write the sequence of steps. You simply define the desired end state. You write a configuration file stating you want an Azure virtual machine attached to a specific network. Terraform compares your requested state against what currently exists in the cloud. It then calculates the exact sequence of API calls needed to bridge that gap. If the network already exists, Terraform leaves it alone and only builds the server. Here is the key insight. Many engineers confuse infrastructure provisioning tools like Terraform with configuration management tools like Chef, Puppet, or Ansible. They are not the same thing. Terraform builds the house. Configuration management tools arrange the furniture. Terraform provisions the raw cloud resources like the load balancers and the virtual machines. Ansible or Chef then log into those machines to install software packages and start background services. Configuration management tools were fundamentally designed for mutable infrastructure. They expect a server to live a long time and undergo constant patching and tweaking. Terraform pushes you toward immutable infrastructure. If an environment needs a different operating system version, Terraform does not log in and run an upgrade script. It destroys the old server and provisions a brand new one with the correct image. This strict approach guarantees your code always matches reality, completely eliminating configuration drift. This workflow is particularly valuable because it is platform agnostic. An enterprise rarely uses just one vendor. You might run your primary workloads on Azure, handle your DNS through Cloudflare, and manage incident routing and PagerDuty. Terraform manages all of these through a provider model. A provider is simply a plugin that understands a specific vendor API. By using multiple providers, you can build a single configuration that spins up an Azure database, configures the necessary DNS records, and sets up the monitoring alerts simultaneously. The underlying API calls change, but your workflow stays exactly the same. If you want to help keep these episodes coming, you can search for devstories.eu on Patreon to support the show. A tool that merely automates tasks makes you faster, but a tool that enforces a declarative state makes your entire system predictable. I would like to take a moment to thank you for listening. It helps us a lot. Have a great one.